Welcome, everyone. I'm Lovedeep Saini, and it's a pleasure to be here today where I'll be talking about leveraging large language models, in short, LLMs, for customer service and support transformation. And before I go any further, I would like to thank you all for joining this session, and a special thanks to NLP Summit organizers for this opportunity. And before I start the real talk, let me share a bit about myself. I trained as a physicist and joined Gallagher in 2018 as a data scientist. Today, I lead our NLP and AI efforts here at Gallagher. To give you an overview, Gallagher is among the world's leading insurance brokerages and risk management consultants. So we extensively analyze text where we are examining client feedback, insurance policies, service center dialogues, and many more other unstructured data sets. Our goal here is to leverage the latest in NLP and AI to enhance experiences and business results. Please note that while I represent Gallagher, the views I share today are just mine. Now that you know a little about me, so let's set the stage for our discussion today. Let's quickly cover our agenda for today. We'll start with introductions to LLMs and their impact and the pros and cons of using them, how they can impact the industry. Then we'll jump on to second section, which is more about how to mold them to use our enterprise content and what are the effective strategies for effective utilization of LLMs, the benefits of embedding LLMs into our customer service process. We'll conclude the topic by discussing how to prepare for the future with large language models. We'll wrap up with a summary and done. With that outline, let's first dive into the first section, which is rise of large language models. You have probably heard the buzz around large language models lately. These models are truly groundbreaking. We all have seen them. So they interact in a way that feels almost like human. And thanks to the massive amounts of data they are trained on, they can not only just do the question answering, they can craft stories, they can generate unique content, they can tackle any complex problems. And their applications, we see them almost everywhere in chat bars, as content creators, even as software developer. They are writing codes for us. So their value to business is undeniable. From savings resources to elevating user experience, they are everywhere. They are going to contribute immensely. So today we are going to dive deeper into their benefits and transformative impact on service centers like customer services. Okay, so let's first shift our focus to the benefits of leveraging large language models. It's evident that they are revolutionizing various industries. Their standout feature is adaptability. They can be tailored to diverse business needs across any sector. Not only can they process vast amounts of text data, but they also produce human-like text, which is insane. So integrating these models, those who can act like human, they can, where we can interact like we are interacting with a human, that's a big win here. And to deploy them, to integrate them to existing infrastructure, that could be a challenge. But if we could overcome that challenge, it could be quick enough to integrate to our business solutions. By employing effective techniques, which we'll discuss shortly, large language models ensure that we get consistent responses and minimize human errors. So there is no doubt that large language models can provide efficient and consistent AI-driven solutions to enhance our agent-led customer support. In simple terms, large language models are more than simply tools. They have the potential to reshape the whole framework of these services. However, while the benefits are great, there are some downsides. Let's have a look at those here. So it's crucial to recognize that they are not without challenges. First of all, let's think at organizational level. With so much data around, finding the right documents can be a challenge. Then there's the puzzle of handling different data types. How do we balance structured sources like databases with the chaos of unstructured ones like emails? And let's not forget the legacy issues, where past neglect of unstructured data left us with knowledge gaps. Now, on the technical sides, things get even trickier. How do we smoothly fit LLMs into our existing systems? That's a challenge. And training them isn't like that one size fits all. We have got to mold them to our unique needs. Of course, data privacy remains essential. So ensuring we are safeguarding sensitive information, that's gonna be a challenge for businesses. Keeping large language models current is another challenge. It's about keeping them up to date as our data and business rules evolve. And the real head scratcher here, that how do we reduce the chances of them creating a content that could be totally off the mark or just plain wrong. So there are a lot of challenges. There's a lot to consider, but understanding these hurdles is the first step to overcome them. All right. Now let's shift our lens to the world of customer service. As we know it currently, it's largely driven by people, and our customer service agents are more than just simple employees. They are truly representing the heart of our brand. They shape how customers see us. They influence customers' loyalty and in overall the total brand image. And on top of that, we businesses put huge efforts into training them. We want them to know our products, our services inside out, and be ready for any unexpected question a customer might ask. But this model has its challenges. Agents' turnover is high, often because of the stress level they have at this role. Then customer dissatisfaction. They sometimes face inconsistent services, long wait times, and there could be misunderstandings. We have tried to employ IVRs or simple chatbots, but they miss the human touch. So again, this leaves customers unsatisfied. Now, if we enter into LLMs era, where promises to a new direction are like instant onboarding. LLMs can almost soak up and use vast information really quickly. They can provide consistent and answers and can work round the clock tirelessly. And with LLMs handling common queries, our agents can be free to tackle the more complex issues. So with this AI tool as their support, the future with LLMs is about empowering them, our agents, making the whole customer service, agent-led customer service experience better and smarter with help of this LLM augmentation. Now, building on that idea of large language models empowering our customer service, let's discuss that how we can make these models truly resonate with our specific business needs. While large language models come as a package with extensive general knowledge, they might miss some specific details of every business. How do we do this? So to address this challenge, we need to integrate large language models with our unique organizational content, our own data. And that will allow us to sharpen large language models' output. By doing this, we will ensure that large language models deliver accurate as well as authoritative responses that can fit perfectly with our business needs. So now, next step is, how do we do this integration? So at its core, this process revolves around 3 steps. The first step is system instruction. So this is where we have to define how our large language model should generally behave. Second step is user question. This is when a user like me would feed in the question, would ask the question, and I would expect personalized response. Third is the one that would get me the relevant documentation. This is where once the user has read the question, now this is where either general training of large language model or extracted business context will help to steer the large language model's response according to what user is asking, according to what I'm asking. So how do we optimize a large language model's performance so that it could get me the answer that I want to see, so that I could see the personalized response? There are a couple of standout strategies we can employ. One of them is named as retrieval augmented generation. We're going to call it RAG. So you can picture this strategy as letting the LLM go out and do some Google search about the specific ask and extract relevant information according to that ask, and then refine and enrich its answer so that it could deliver me the concise summary or concise, credible answer. It will work great when the response needs to go out frequently to look into external and dynamic data. But then there is another strategy, which is known as fine-tuning. It's all about training this pre-trained large language model on specific data set to tailor it for a unique business task. This makes this pre-trained large language model more specialized to that application's unique requirements. It's somewhat like by adjusting that core large language model's weights based on the new specific business data. Now, ultimately, each approach has its own advantages. Picking the right one depends on what we want to do with it. So let's talk about this. So when considering our application, which is customer service here, applications needs, a few things stand out. Let's start with external knowledge. If our app frequently pulls data from external sources, for example, details about specific products or accounts, RAG seems like the right fit here. But when we are working from a script or a predefined knowledge base, then this is where fine-tuning steps in. Talking about the next point, speaking of fine-tuning, it's ideal when we want our service to match company's tone, whether that's about politeness or we want the model to use special terms like how we use internally, then fine-tuning is the way to go. Now, on the topic of errors or hallucinations, as they call it, RAG has a strong tendency to stick with the facts, while fine-tuning is generally reliable, but there are chances that it can fabricate. Now, talking about training data, you got a lot of past customer interactions. Yes, then that's where fine-tuning truly shines. But in situations where data is limited, RAG becomes essential, where it can pull insights from things like small manuals. Okay. When it comes to constantly changing data, dynamic data sets, RAG stays updated. Fine-tuning, as great as it is, sometimes relies on its older information. And in a fast-paced business scene, we need to adapt with the changes. So maybe RAG is the best fit here. And if you have ever wondered how the large language model came to a conclusion, RAG gives us real insights. Fine tuning, while effective, is a bit more mysterious in its process. So, to wrap this up, it's not about picking one over the other, it's about blending. Fine tuning for consistency, RAG for unexpected questions. Together, they ensure that our customer service is accurate, well informed, and always prepared. But there are some other factors we should consider. So, what are these extra factors we need to take care of when making our choice? So, let me first mention that comparing RAG and fine tuning is like comparing two top star players, but we still have to do it. Let's talk about scalability. RAG's adaptability shines, but fine tuning feels a pressure when data grows. Speed wise, fine tuning is faster because it relies on its built in knowledge, but RAG always researching might take a little longer. Maintenance is another interesting factor. RAG focuses on databases, retrieval systems, so it needs more maintenance, whereas fine tuning needs periodic updates, especially when the data landscape changes. In the area of diverse answers, RAG uses a wide range of external sources, but fine tuning, it offers consistent expert answers, but from within its domain. We also have to consider ethics and privacy. Storing and retrieving data from other databases during RAG may cause privacy concerns, particularly if information is sensitive. And a fine-tuned model, on the other hand, may still provide outputs based on its training data, even if it's not querying the live databases, which may have its own ethical problems. Now, from users' standpoint, RAG offers thorough, cited responses. We can always go back and verify our answers. But if you are after swift, domain-specific answers, fine-tuning is the go-to here. Budgeting comes into play as well. RAG needs consistent attention and maintenance along with its initial setup cost, whereas the more robust fine-tuning models might get more expensive with time. And tackling complexities, RAG demands a integration and maintenance of its components. We're going to talk about those components soon. Fine-tuning also has its challenges, like you have to manage its versions, you have to ensure that it's performing consistently. So let's wrap it up that choice between RAG and fine-tuning isn't a simple one. It's about finding the right fit for the organization's unique needs and goals. So let's take a deep look into how this retrieval augmented generation, or RAG as we have been calling it, look like as in process, and what kind of tools can support us. So first of all, we need GPT APIs to kick things off. You might have heard about Azure OpenAI service by Microsoft or the OpenAI API for GPT. Yeah, so my starting point is GPT. There are other open source models as well. Now let's talk about the process and its technical steps. Imagine our documents as massive library. We need to break them down, right? So this is where tools like vector stores from LangChain come in. I use LangChain, but there are other libraries as well. You can explore, like from Hugging Face somewhere. So I'll stick with LangChain. They help us slice our documents into bite-sized pieces, turning them into what we call embeddings, basically a numerical way of representing text. And then we tuck them safely in what we call a vector store. With our vector store set up, the fun begins. When a user throws a question, our retrievers dive into those vector stores, finding the perfect document match for that query. It's like a game of matchmaking. But we are not done yet. We then combine that user question and our matched document to craft a well rounded prompt. Think of it as setting the stage for our main act. Now everything is ready, set. We hand over that detailed prompt to our language models. They then craft a response that's not only spot on, but truly understanding the context that we are feeding into that prompt. So it's a bit like a relay race where each step setting the stage for the next one. So this will ensure that our large language model's final answer is as informed and as relevant as it can be. Now transitioning to fine-tuning process. So imagine you are trying to train a new employee, but in this case, that employee is our large language model. First up, we get all data sorted, tailored to what our business is really about. Now you have your data ready, great. We move those files to where the magic of fine tuning happens. With everything set, it's time to hit the start button and let the fine tuning begin. Once that's done, what we have is no ordinary large language model. It's like a custom made suit, perfectly tailored. Let it go. This model now, the fine tuned model now, really gets the ins and outs of our business. The beauty of this is that we are making sure our large language models aren't just smart, but they are in sync with our specific business vibe. All right, let's circle back to the big picture. What did we get from integrating large language models into our workflows? Well, let's summarize the benefits here. With tools like structured embeddings, we just talked in RAG process, we are ensuring that every user gets the same quality answer, no matter when they ask, late in the evening, early in the morning, anytime. This boosts accuracy by a big time. And as we keep piling on more data, large language models has no problem. They can just go with that. One thing I love, the clarity. No more guessing games. Users get straight to the point answers. And if we need to switch things up, say a policy update is there, large language models catch up in a snap and keep things fresh. Let's not forget the savings. With large language models tackling the usual questions, we are looking at some serious cost benefits. Our agents can be free to handle the more complex situations. Plus, they are like the best customer service reps, always on 24/7. So in a nutshell, what we are talking about is a game-changing user experience. We are talking consistency, clarity, and sheer efficiency. After diving into shaping large language models to respond to our business voice, let's now look ahead. How do we ensure that large language models integrate seamlessly and efficiently in the future? So as we look into the horizon of large language models, a significant challenge stands out, which is content management. Finding the right document we discussed earlier isn't just about the tech issue, it's the reflection of our historical content choices. We have been so focused on structured data that we have always overlooked a wealth of unstructured data. Surprisingly, around 80 to 90% of our data falls into this unstructured, scattered data category. And what's becoming crystal clear now that we need to bring that data to central stage. When we discuss the power of LLMs, it's equally vital to talk about unifying our data. We need to tap into this vast reservoir of unstructured information. So let's wrap it up here that we are serious, if we are serious about leveraging large language models down the line, rethinking our content management strategy is a must. So let's summarize and conclude the topic here. First of all, let's reflect on transformative impacts of large language models on customer services. So they offer incredible scalability, round the clock consistency, aiming not to replace but to enhance our human agents' capability. Now, second section here is central to the success of large language models is robust content management, ensuring large language models have access to both structured and often overlooked unstructured data. Third section here is, as we look forward, the promise is evident. Large language models can revolutionize customer service by blending speed with accuracy. But to truly harness this potential, our approach to content needs to be both strategic and has to be both strategic and forward looking. In a nutshell, while LLMs are powerful, their true magic shines brightest with solid content foundation. So let me wrap up with a big thank you to the organizers for this wonderful platform and to all of you for joining and engaging. Let's keep the conversation going. I would like to connect with you all on LinkedIn, so please connect there. Once again, thank you for being here today.